Well, my name is Halford Fairchild, and I am a professor of psychology and black studies at the Pitzer Colleges. And it is my honor today to talk briefly with Ms. Ondra Clark, who is a doctoral student at the University of Wisconsin. Ms. Ondra Clark. Well, I know that this is your second convention at the Association of Black Psychologists, and I really should back up, but let me first finish that question, which is, how did you hear about ABPSI and what brought your involvement to make it real?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I first heard about ABPSI through a class assignment that I had, believe it or not. We were asked to go and research different professional organizations, and so I had to present on multicultural organizations, and ABPSI was one of those organizations. And so as I presented, I realized, why am I not a part of this? And so I sought out membership in ABPSI, but unfortunately there wasn't a chapter in my area. And so I contacted the Student National Board, and I actually became involved in ABPSI that way.
And you've been very involved. I noticed that you've been at the head dais, and you're now coming in as the secretary of the ABPSI General Assembly, mm-hmm. and also as president-elect of the ABPSI Student Circle.
Yes.
So that's a lot of involvement in just a couple of years of activity in ABPSI, right. And I certainly appreciate that and admire that.
I think it's just testament to what ABPSI has really meant for me and become for me professionally. I've been associated and affiliated with other organizations, but this organization really, it means a lot. You know, it's in my heart, and so because of that, it's natural to want to serve in that way.
Well, tell me a little bit about your background, where you were born, grew up, your pre-college days.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm originally from Southern California, and I grew up in a single-parent household, and I attended one of the Cal State schools, Cal Poly Pomona, where I majored in psychology and minored in African American studies and quantitative research. I didn't know that I wanted to be a psychology major. In fact, I was kind of opposed to it because my mom was a counselor. And what I knew of that was that she sat in an office all day and worked with people that didn't look like me, didn't sound like me, and definitely didn't live in our neighborhood. And so I decided early on that that wasn't for me. And as I went to school and became more educated, I realized that African Americans can definitely benefit from psychology. So I joined the McNair Scholars Program, and that kind of gave me my first taste of grad school and what that would be like, and the fact that that was a possibility for me. And through that program I was mentored, and I did a lot of research projects and traveled and presented, and those are the things that helped me get into a graduate program and get a fellowship.
What was it like getting into grad school, or what recommendations would you have for other undergraduate students who are aspiring to follow in your footsteps and go on and get a PhD in psychology? What are some of the key ingredients to making yourself look good to getting into grad school? I know you mentioned a couple of the things, the McNair Scholars Program, yeah, and getting some research experience. Anything else?
Other than becoming involved in other programs, TRIO programs, so McNair, or I think there's a student search program and other programs at the undergraduate level. There's many programs. Really finding a good mentor, or as we call it in ABPSI, a JEGNA, that's key and crucial. And because of that, actually, it's kind of led to my involvement with the JEGNAship program in ABPSI. So finding somebody that's really going to invest in you, support you, finding people that look like you, that you can kind of aspire to be like. I think that's really key and crucial.
This idea of JEGNA is one that has been advanced by one of the founding members of ABPSI, Dr. Wade Nobles.
Yes.
And I understand you are the student circle co-chair of the JEGNAship program. Mm-hmm. Well, what is that all about?
Well, I've been the chair of the JEGNAship program for the last 2 years. And that's a good question, because when I first got the position, or was elected to the position, I asked the question, well, what does JEGNA mean? What is this about? And unfortunately, I couldn't really get much of a response from people. A lot of people didn't know, the program was pretty defunct. And so it gave me a great opportunity to bring a lot of creativity and to do a lot of historical, background searching in order to define the program and then create programs. And so I'm really excited today that people know what JEGNAship is. People know about the programs that have been created. And so that's a big part of my involvement in the convention as well, making sure that those programs last.
So you were really in on the ground floor.
As far as bringing Jegnership back, I'm sure that there have been people in the past, you mentioned Wade Nobles and really creating this term and to really help us define what it is and what it's not. And so as far as the student positions have gone, it has been defunct for a while, but I'm just really excited about the new energy and life that's been brought to it, and students are excited, and it's opened up a whole new venue of programming for students. That's so important.
Very good. Well, you are now working on your PhD in clinical psychology. Counseling psychology at the University of Wisconsin. What's the difference between clinical and counseling?
Well, Dr. Fairchild.
I'm a social psychologist.
Clinical and counseling. Well, I think there's a lot of debate in the field about the differences between them and what you can do with one versus the other. I would say, just briefly in a general sense, counseling psychology to me is more applied. You can definitely be a researcher, an academician. You can do all types of things. I think with a PhD in general, it's the license to do what you want and to have that flexibility. But I was really interested in the applied parts of psychology, and so that's why counseling was kind of a natural path for me.
Where are you now in your program?
I am in my 4th year, so I'm working on my dissertation and then applying to internship programs, which I'll be attending next fall.
Well, after 3 years of rigorous graduate training, working on your PhD, any words of wisdom for those who are starting out in the graduate school endeavor?
It really goes back to Jegnership. It's so important for me. And I know it's crucial for many students that look like me and have had some of the same experiences. So find somebody that believes in you and supports you and is invested in what you do. Networking is huge, and so being a part of organizations like ABSI is crucial to student development and professional development. So I would encourage students to pursue those opportunities.
And whither the future for you? What do you envision? Where are you going? What do you want to do? If your dreams come true, what would they look like?
Well, part of what I told you a second ago is part of the reason I got the PhD, so I can do what I want to do and have that flexibility. And so with that comes a degree of uncertainty about what the future will hold for me. I definitely do see myself as a clinician and making change at an organizational level, but I'd really like to I'm really interested in policy and how can I change systems that kind of oppress people, oppress Black people. How can I get into those realms as a psychologist and inform them with kind of a psychologist lens. So I'm thinking through that a lot. How can I use policy and psychology together to really better our people?
Excellent. What about community mental health or community psychology? Do you see yourself involved at the community level at all?
Yeah, definitely. My master's was in counseling, community counseling specifically, and I work at a mental health center, at a community mental health center. And so I love the work that I do, but I feel like there's so much more to be done on a larger systems level because many of my clients are involved in like the juvenile justice system, court system, all types of different systems, foster care. And so as a result, I really think that, sure, change could be made in the community mental health system and centers, but I'd really like to influence larger systems, and that's why I say I want to work at a policy level. So still kind of figuring out what that looks like, but with the help of ABSI and other JEGNAs I've received, I have confidence that I'll get some good mentoring.
Well, here we are, August 1st, 2008.
Yeah.
On the cusp of a new presidential election, and we have a Barack Obama, a very inspirational, absolutely inspirational genius of a politician. And I guess my own prediction is that he'll win handily.
Oh, we hope so.
And I think that he'll probably begin to shift the emphasis of global politics from might makes right to doing the right thing by people and transferring monies from the military-industrial complex into healthcare, preventive healthcare, mental health services, and things of that sort. Well, this has been quite a pleasure. Are there any final thoughts that you would like to share?
No, I think I've said a lot, and I'm happy to be here. I'm just really honored that you interviewed me.
All right, this is Ms. Ondra Clark. Right now it's August 1st, 2008. But I have a feeling that as we march ahead in time, that we will be hearing a lot from this beautiful young lady.
I hope so. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thanks.
and best wishes.